Hello there. All right, guys. So we are taking a look at the Spiritus Systems JSTA pouch and what I have done with it, and how I'm actually utilizing this. So rather than having the magazines on the top here, I've installed one of the axle zippers. I've got my chem lights in there, and I'm actually storing my NVGs in here. Thanks to the kind of homemade do-it-yourself. I took this here from issued gear, cut it down to actually fit inside here for the NVG protection. And then we have the Viper tabs that are holding it secure. So stick around. Okay, so most of you guys that either have a JSTA pouch or have like seen them like in use, this right here is where you typically going to end up like find them. Most people wear them on their belts at opposite their pistol, and that is so they have access to said those magazines that are right there, and then they'll put whatever contents that are inside. Now I don't need that because I keep my said rifle magazine going horizontally like this, and then of course my extra 2 mags and these pouches here. So I didn't really need that feature. So this right here is actually a GP pouch from Midwest Armor. One of the things that those guys typically do is most of their pouches actually have kind of like the JSTA thing in the back where you can store magazines. This is like the one that doesn't, so kind of cracks me up a little bit. But this one, for the most part, it's very similar to the JSTA, like I said, but without like the magazines in the rear. And I actually put the smoke grenades in here, so it'll hold 2 smoke grenades like no problems. That's what I'm actually using this pouch for. Can use it for other things, but so that's why I don't have the JSTA pouch on the belt. Instead, I'm wearing the JSTA pouch actually on my plate carrier, so it's sitting on like the left side there. And that's typically the spot where I carry my NVGs. What I wanted to try with this was, one, to see if my insert would fit. And like I said, this right here is the issued one that comes with all of your canteens. You can get them super cheap, like online. You can even give them the ABU digital tiger stripe, which doesn't matter because it's going inside the pouch, so it is what it is. But I have noticed that you've got to kind of cut it down a little bit, and it'll fit in your pouches a little bit better. So I cut that down. I got the PVS 14s in here. On this backside over here is where I'll store the batteries. Sorry, I can't find my little battery storage thing. Probably packed up somewhere. But so that's what I'm using this right here for. Now, the guy that I got this from, Black Armor, huge shout out to him. So it came with the Viper tabs. There we go, from Tracer Tactical. Really dig these things. One, rather than having the Velcro closure, you've actually got these right here. I really like these. Super easy to use, very quiet, and it'll just kind of like lock into place there. So when you're actually trying to dig these things out in the middle of the night, you're not making any noise. So I really like that. And like I said, what I wanted to do was, rather than just having my magazines like up here, like I didn't really need to store mags up here. Could if I wanted to, but I wanted to try something else. So this right here is actually from Axle, and it's just one of their zippers. I have seen that they have like the high ones, like a little bit like taller, that people say fit in this. I might end up going ahead and grabbing one of those. But inside here, I just wanted to store some of like the chem lights. A lot of it is just because, they are like unwrapped. So I didn't want them just kind of like, getting hit by the sun, being like, I said, getting the UV rays kind of messing them up. And then I just figured, hey, if I can store them in here, once I open it, definitely easy to reach in and like grab them out. But like I said, that high mount one might be a little bit better. But that's just what I'm using it for like, right now. Once again, this here is 3 MOLLE columns wide. So it's on my plate carrier where usually my small, medium GP pouches will typically sit. And that's just what I'm using it for. So said, if you guys don't want to go for the rifle pistol combo, or Leatherman, Gerber, wherever you guys are like utilizing, said something like this might work out for you. So hope this helps. Got any questions, hit me up. Here for y'all. Later.